Hey, I'm Holland Peterson, and this is a video of psychology in art. And today we're going to be telling the story of the Surrealists, a group of artists that rejected reality, reclaimed imagination, and explored the unconscious mind to unlock great truths. Let's go. Take a minute to scribble something down on a piece of paper next to you. It can be anything or nothing. Just let your imagination run wild. And then after a few minutes, hit play on the video. Now, what if I told you that this little doodle, whether it's words, abstract lines, or a little picture, could be used as a tool to help you understand yourself? At least, that's what the Surrealists did.
Here's one example of an automatic drawing done in the 1920s by Andre Mason.
Sigmund Freud's discoveries in psychology helped set up our foundation.
I like to think of the mind in terms of an iceberg. So the conscious mind is the tip of the iceberg. It is the top portion that is seen and can be viewed outside of the water. It's what is revealed. Now, underneath the water, this is the subconscious and unconscious mind. It is what is concealed. The subconscious mind, you can almost see through the water, but the unconscious mind is so deep under the water, so concealed that we can no longer see it, and it is inaccessible to our eyes. The conscious mind is what we are aware of. It is what is going on around us and what we are responding to in our surroundings. The subconscious mind is our inner self and our imagination. This is the part of the mind that we are not fully aware of, but it influences our actions, our behaviors, and our emotions. It might not always make sense to us, but it is influencing our daily life. The unconscious mind, similar but different to the subconscious mind, is more abstract and deep. It is the ego and the psyche. It cannot be accessed by the conscious mind. This is when we are in states of sleep, dreaming, or hence the word unconscious. Automatism are body movements that are not consciously controlled. They're things like breathing, blinking, walking, and even sleepwalking. This can be something that is a natural reaction, like blocking a ball from hitting you. This goes back to our automatic drawing at the beginning of the video, where we took several minutes to draw without thinking what we were going to do and just letting our hand flow freely over the paper without self-censorship. This activity helps tap into our unconscious mind to allow us to get a mere glimpse into what that looks like, because it is a very powerful source of creativity and imagination. This exercise is inspired by spoken thought. Breton practiced thought writing, which is where you write and draw as closely as possible to your inner dialogue without planning, editing, or logic. If you make a mistake, you don't edit it, you just continue wherever your brain leads.
Miss Peterson, this is my elective. What does art have to do with psychology? That's a great question, younger me. So the Surrealists actually combined psychology and art by focusing on the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, mixing them together to make Surrealism. And Surrealism is taking dreams and reality and combining the two together to create this third surreal state. Let's go to the drawing board.
The Surrealist movement started after World War I, and it was the precursor from the Dada movement. Many Dada artists actually became Surrealists. There are two Surrealist manifestos written in 1924 and 1929 by Andre Breton. Surrealists used Freud's theory of the subconscious mind as their foundation for their movement. It holds the belief that the power of our subconscious mind exceeds our rational and conscious mind and is actually more powerful and authentic.
Thanks, drawing board. Surrealism in a nutshell is pure expression of thought through psychic atomicism. It is free from any control, reason, moral, and aesthetic.
In the second manifesto of Surrealism, Breton writes, "We are living under the reign of logic, under the pretense of civilization and progress. We have managed to banish from the mind everything that may rightly or wrongly be termed superstition. Forbidden is any kind of search for truth that is not in conformance with the accepted practices. It was by pure chance that a part of our mental world, which we pretend not to be concerned with any longer, and in my opinion, by far the most important part, has been brought back to light. The imagination is perhaps on the point of reasserting itself, of reclaiming its rights. If the depths of our mind contain within its strange forces capable of augmenting those on the surface, or of waging a victorious battle against them, there is every reason to seize them." Children playing is actually a perfect example. They take things from reality, such as school or things they see adults doing, and act it out by adding elements of imagination, creating this whole new reality. Some famous surrealist paintings that have psychology in them is Dali's painting The Persistence of Memory from 1931, his painting The Temptation of St. Anthony in 1946, and also in 1944, also painted by Dali, was A Dream Caused by the Flight of a Bee Around a Pomegranate, a second before awakening. The Son of Man, painted by Magritte in 1964, and also his The Double Secret, painted in 1927.
So, can art be considered a tool for personal growth and self-actualization? In short, the answer is yes and no. Really, it comes down to the artist. However, the self-discovery doesn't come to all artists. For some, art is just a job. It's a way to make money and a living. So they're not bringing their authentic or deep inner thoughts into their work. It's just a way for them to make a living, or maybe it's just something they enjoy. When allowed, art does become a form of self-expression, and this can be through dance, theater, music, art, poetry, writing, a whole bunch of things, because these are all outlets for our emotions and a way for us to hear our inner selves and thoughts and share experience. So if you're an artist of any kind, strengthening your relationship with your subconscious mind is going to increase your creativity, your inspiration, and your imagery, which will allow you to express yourself that much easier and enhance your artwork. So how do we strengthen the relationship between our subconscious mind and our conscious mind? It seems like it should be easy because it's our mind, but it's actually a little trickier than what it is because society represses our subconscious mind. That way, everyone's living in the same reality, thinking the same thoughts, doing the same thing, and not questioning what is going on around us. First is to eliminate the distinctions between dreams and reality. Because when you accept both, now all of a sudden you're tapping into that subconscious mind and you're allowing it to be a reality of its own. You're validating that experience. So to free our mind from rational and utilitarian values, morals, and aesthetic judgment actually is going to allow us to think new thoughts and have new ideas, which will be creating a better world because now we're exploring so much more. Next is to eliminate reason and madness. Now all of a sudden you're accepting what normally wouldn't be, and it's going to allow you to be more creative. Finally, you're going to eliminate the distinction between objectivity and subjectivity. So again, that's doing the same thing. You are opening up the gates for your brain to just explore and play.
Catharsis is the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong and repressed emotions. Our unique experiences and emotions influence how we make art and how we view art, which in turn influences our reaction to the art we have made or are viewing. When an artist creates art, allowing it to be more than just a job, a cognitive and emotional process takes place, allowing personal growth. This means when an artist is intentional with their work, bringing in unpleasant emotions, the act of making the art eliminates that unpleasant emotion, actually turning it into the opposite.
According to Vygotsky, a work of art always contains an intimate conflict between its content and its form, and the artist achieves his effect by means of the form, which destroys the content. The basic aesthetic response consists of effect caused by art, effect experienced by us as if it were real, but which finds its release in the activity of imagination provoked by a work of art. Art is based upon the union of feelings and imagination.
So again, when we take the artist's personal experience and emotions with their creativity and imagination, through the physical process of art making, which merges the two of them together, eliminates that negative emotion. Miss Peterson, does that mean all art's healing? Because I don't feel any better after drawing hearts all over my math test. That's a great question, younger me. So anytime you're creating art, whether you're just doodling on your exam or creating a self-portrait or something, you are gaining art skills and you are learning about yourself. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're healing, because in order to heal through art, you need to take that traumatic experience or emotion that you want to heal from, pair it with your creativity and your imagination, and then physically create a form from it, because then you're putting those negative experiences into that form, and in return you are getting that positive emotion back because it's replacing it. So it has this push and pull effect. But if you don't give something, there's nothing to take away from it. So you have to be very intentional with the art you're creating in order to heal from it. So not all art is healing, but with the right intentions and paying attention to your subconscious, it is totally possible. Surrealists aren't the only ones to connect psychology to art.
A great example of this is artist Frida Kahlo, because she faced both physical and emotional pain, such as chronic pain that she had throughout her life. Frida used art as a way of opening the door for a conversation around health to offer hope and empower others to speak on their pain, which could lead to healing. The Two Fridas was painted in 1939 and represents the end of her marriage. This is a double self-portrait representing two distinct identities, one showing her Mexican identity and the other a European identity. This painting both records her loneliness, but also her resilience as she records what she has been through.
Andre Breton said, "With no new art, there can be no new man." Adding on to that, with no new man, there can be no new world. Therefore, what is healing for one can be healing for many. When artwork is authentic and vulnerable, it speaks volumes. And what may start as a silly, mindless scribble can actually lead us to a path of authenticity and healing, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Thank you. Relationship with your So if you're an artist of any kind, strengthens the
Oh my god!
We're going to tell the story of the Surrealists, a group of